The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 2024 spring edition, pre-spring edition of The Local Show. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk to the business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We learn how they got into business and why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You're going to hear all about their successes and challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. And you can see us on YouTube as well if you're brave enough to get on over to YouTube.
It takes courage to go to YouTube, Tom?
Yes, it does. You have to know poop from Shinola.
Yeah, sometimes the clickbait is annoying. It'll say something, you click on it like, that was dumb.
It's totally not what it was.
Right, but it counted as a view. I want my view back. I want my 30 seconds back.
Yeah, people do that. But, they're trying to crack down on that to make it more, content more relevant.
So you have to say this video stinks and then show it.
Yeah, exactly. The more you say that. But I think that the algorithms do it themselves. But we have good, clean content, and you can see what the guests look like and, what our facial expressions are.
How old were you when you knew what the word algorithm meant?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't know when did we.
Because you were a computer guy way back, and
the algorithm. I guess I was in college where we started talking algorithms. But I'm a Star Trek fan, so I'm into all that sci-fi. And they've been talking algorithms is like a daily thing in that.
Is it? See, I was never a Star Trek fan. To me, it was just painfully dull.
Yeah, well, I like all that funky stuff. Now that it's all here, though, now I'm afraid.
1984 right, it's 2024, let's be honest.
It was nice when I thought it was far away and cool, but, who knows now. So anyway, we got a good show for you. We're going to talk to a lot of great business people, entrepreneurs, and people who are just trying to make a go of it. Jerome Snyder is going to be up first. He's the owner of Pest Master Services. Neil Carr stops by. He's the vice president of Prime Heating and Air. Then we have Jeff Taylor. He's the owner of the Wild Animal Park over there in Chittenango. Jamie Sather is the business development. She's in charge of she. I don't know if it's a he or a she, so I have no idea.
They are in charge, Tom.
Yeah. They them are in charge of business development at 160 Driving Academy.
It's a male, Tom.
It is it? Okay.
It's a guy.
Well, thanks for letting me know now.
I just wanted to see you suffer first.
I'm not suffering. I don't really care. John Kupperman will be by. He's the owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. And David Four is the president and CEO of Visual Technology. It'd be good to get reacquainted with David. Yeah. I've known him for years.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, nice guy. Kelly Capato is the senior manager of sales and operations at Inspire Care of Central New York. And Josh Lang will even us all out because he's the pastor at Redeemer Church in Syracuse. He'll round us out. So let's say hello to Jerome Snyder. He used to be a guest on the show a lot. Then you must have stopped paying us.
Yeah, he got rich. He got rich and famous, and he's killing bugs. Lifestyles of killing bugs for the rich and famous now. Isn't that true, Drum?
It's true.
It's true. He's been around. I still got one of your boxes over at the house.
Well, you stopped paying.
Yeah, that was it. But you can come and pick up the box. I was going to bring it here, but I don't know what the heck's in it. I'm scared.
It's freaking. There's a bomb in it.
Yeah.
There's a bomb inside of it too.
I don't know.
Rotting vermin.
Serves you right for not paying, right?
But you know what? Ever since you did the services for us, and it's been, I think we skipped last season, but you were with us for a few seasons. We don't have any rodents, no moles, no mice, no bugs, anything.
You have a really nice house over there. And we didn't really have too much to do. We did some exclusion work for you. That's kind of preventive things, and then the work's easy after that.
Yeah. So it worked out good.
So, Tom, earlier this week, I was talking to Mom. Mom goes, at my age, I like to treat myself to Jerome to pest control. So this to her, she treats herself because she has her little budget, does her thing, and she's I just like being on top of it, and I like having it there. And she loves you, Jerome. I don't know why. And Jerome or his people. That's where she goes. Your people will come by, and she has been pest free by and large, other than those giant opossums that you keep planting on her shed.
There's the woodchucks that I put out there to get more money from her.
So what exactly does Pest Masters do? If you had to sum it up in an elevator speech.
So we're full spectrum pest control is the way I say it. We're partners in pest control too. We do everything from bugs and insects. You have your spiders, your stinging insects, your stink bugs, ants. We come and do a regular service on your house. We come and do your business. We come and do whatever we need to do. We also have add-on of we do nuisance wildlife. So in this industry, there's not a lot of people that do both the nuisance wildlife and the insects, but we want to couple them up and do both. So if you have a bat or you have a squirrel, you have a raccoon that's found its way up into your attic or someplace underneath your deck. The woodchucks, we've taken 973,000 woodchucks from Gloria's house.
There is quite a fertile crescent there, isn't there?
There is a fertile crescent. So we do the nuisance wildlife and the insect work, and we do residential as well as commercial.
Nice. What makes you a little different than like if I recall, back when I was a kid, the Orkin Man?
Orkin's a good company. They're one of the biggest in the country. I don't really have anything negative to say about them. They do a lot of work. I'm local here. Like, I own the business. You come to my house. You can go see my office. You can see that I'm the guy that's out there doing it. I will show up at your house in my uniform. So if you want to see the president, CEO, just call and ask for Jerome. And I'll come to your house and take care of that stuff. So, Orkin's a big company. I'm not going to say anything bad about them. They're a great organization.
Well, they said a lot of crap about you.
Yeah, you won in this industry when Orkin gives you a referral. So I have been referred.
That does say a lot.
I did get referred to from a customer from Orkin, so that was kind of cool. That was kind of the highlight of my.
Do they do everything you do?
I don't know. Different offices do different things.
Because you do wildlife is a different. Everyone doesn't do wildlife. Is that fair?
Most people don't. Either there's people who do wildlife and they don't do the insects, or they do insects and they don't do the wildlife. And also the mosquito work. So I do mosquito work as well. There's different licenses for all these things that we're talking about, and I have all the licenses to do those things. They're tough to maintain. You've got to make sure you have the business to support the continuing education of the things you have to do to maintain all that with the government.
Do you wait until August to deal with the mosquitoes, or is that like a preemptive thing?
I don't, and I'm glad you brought that up. So this winter has not been much of a winter, and normally we start our services mid-April, depending on what the snow is doing. Usually the second week of April is when everything in central New York starts waking up. I had a frog in my house last night.
A frog,
things are different this year.
Did you let it live?
I certainly did. I took him, put him right outside.
Okay.
Well, he probably died, though, if it gets cold today. Tonight he might not make it.
Maybe you should have bring him back in.
Maybe I should. So this year, I'm telling you, I'm watching the weather, and I'm wondering if things aren't going to be different this year. Last year was crazy because we had the smoke fires up in Canada, and the stinging insects were off the hook. There was, I think Gannon did a thing on the news about it, and they were not the same as they normally were. The weather was different.
Were they
with the smoke.
Meaner? What were they?
They were deep inside the structure. They were big nests. They were some dangerous situations we got into. You woke up, you think you got a little nest, and all of a sudden you've got that giant nest deep inside the wall. And I believe that's from the smoke fires from last year. This year, we don't have a lot of snow. We get 2 good snows, and that's kind of it. It's warm. It's 60 degrees out today, this morning, I think.
Yeah. So you're saying big mosquito population
so I'm
or
wondering
less?
that this is going to be a big insect year. That things are going to start blooming early.
Now, I watched the Bee Movie, and I was taught that, why is his life any less important than yours? So bees, stinging insects, a lot of people have some ethical issues with what you do. How do you make it better or, do things a little different?
Well, they're all God's creatures, and they all got a place to be.
Right.
The bees, we do work with several beekeepers around here, so if you have honeybees, we are not going to exterminate them or kill them. We're going to remove them, send them to
halfway house,
apiary. Yeah, we have recovery apiary. We have relationships with a couple of things. The wasps, they are pollinators. They do pest control for us. Mm-hmm. We try to deal with those as best we can, but usually we have to kill those. The brunt of your question is that people have to come before the pests.
Right.
So centralnewyork.pestmasters.com, does that still work?
I think so.
All right. And 546-6067.
546-6067.
In the big area code, 315.
Yeah.
So if you want something dealt with, talk to Jerome, 546-6070, Pestmasters.
That's me.
Okay, you got it. Hey, Jerome, thank you. And we're going to talk with Neil Carr coming up next. He's the Vice President of Prime Heating and Air, right here on the local show on 570 WSYR. Stick around.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining Tom and Steve on The Local Show. Getting ready for St. Patrick's Day. Is that around the corner? And Easter as well.
Yeah, they're all stacking in there. March is madness. So you got the NCAA.
Right.
Well, Syracuse, maybe they're
doing good.
getting close to.
Yeah.
They say you win 20 games, you're in there at 18 or whatever, 19 or whatever it is.
18 now, yeah.
So maybe.
To all you Orange fans, that's good stuff. I made a brisket the other day just to get ready. It came out great in the Instapot. I found an Instapot recipe for beef brisket. Now you could do the same thing with corned beef.
Did you have beef broth in there? Or
yes, a little beef broth, and you can use a little tomato paste, a little beef broth. Your seasonings.
How long?
It was only an hour. But you have to sear it and everything. Yeah. And then you go an hour, then you take it out, and then you make it's kind of an onion puree.
Oh, this sounds really good.
Yeah, with the beef broth and the paste.
And you brought some in?
No, not at all.
Oh, jeez.
We ate it all.
You think there was any left, Steve?
The family ate it all.
For you.
But, so that's a neat way to make the brisket, and it kind of gave me some, inspiration for the corned beef as well to do some of that. And cabbage is great.
Cabbage, yeah.
Cabbage is filled with K2, vitamin K2, and it keeps the walls of your arteries nice and smooth. Well, I mean, you have to take a lot of it, but I also take a K2 supplement.
And how do you know that your arteries are smooth?
Well, you don't.
Okay.
You don't have a heart attack. That would be the way to do it.
I'm going to look. Looks smooth to me.
You have to, not have a heart attack. Hey, look, speaking of absolutely nothing, Neil Carr is here with us.
All right, that's a great segue.
I don't know what I'm doing. Vice President of Prime Heating and Air. Thanks for being here, Neil.
Absolutely. Good, guys. Good.
I noticed with all the good weather that I have an actual AC unit outside, and I'm the only idiot in my neighborhood who built this structure that looks like a fort around it to keep it from, being snowed on.
Maybe you're smart.
I don't know. He says you don't need to.
Yeah, hey, you could. It's depends on which way you're looking at it.
Well, he had the shed. It was for his Y2K surplus. And he just moved it outside to protect it.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Yeah. Hey, better safe than sorry, right?
Yeah. Those units out there. Is there anything anybody should do with their central air unit on the outside? That would be the compressor portion, right?
A lot of it just depends on what side of the house it's on. If you're on the slope side, and if you have ice buildup, that kind of thing. That's really the biggest concern would be, big icicles falling on it.
It's normal for it to get a little rusty. I hate to see it get rusty, though.
It just gets, the only thing I would say is like when you have those covers, like those grill cover type things.
Yeah.
Some people love them.
They seal them up real tight.
Yeah. Then any moisture you have in there, then it's holding that moisture.
Yeah. You want it to breathe.
If you have some air, so putting a piece of plywood or something on top just to protect, heavy snows or icicles from hitting the top of it. And then you have kind of the sides open for some airflow. That's good.
How about when the spring hits here? Is there something you like? Should you vacuum out the leaves and things like that?
Give us a call. Yep,
you'll come and do that.
We'll come out, do a whole maintenance on it, make sure it's all cleaned up. Spray it down,
coil it
cleaner.
up.
Yeah, coil clean it up. Check your charge. Make sure everything's good to go for the summer season. Yep, that's all part of our spring maintenance. Yep.
Good.
Absolutely.
Good.
For sure.
When people walk into my office, mostly women here, they go, it's winter in here. It's cold.
Yeah.
There's a lot of swing between rooms, residential or commercial. Is there anything people can do to mitigate that, or is it just you wear a sweater in one room and you wear a t-shirt in the other? Or
well, there's definitely ways to balance things out, ductwork wise. In a commercial space, if you can get up into the ceiling, you can kind of modify some ductwork, move some stuff around, that kind of thing. Usually, hot and cold spots are from airflow. Is there enough return in this area to kind of even things out? So there's definitely different things you could do, even residentially, to look at the ductwork. If one area of the house just is not getting any air, there's booster fans you could put in, that kind of thing to kind of boost the air to that end of the house. Really, it's just kind of surveying where all your supplies, all your returns are, and is it kind of balanced out? Yeah.
Right. So Tom changes his filter once every 6 years. Is that should it be more frequent?
It should be a little more frequent than that. Absolutely. Yeah. Check it every 45 to 60 days and change as needed.
Yeah. I do. Depending I change it a lot.
Yeah, depending on the quality of the indoor air and the outdoor, allergens and all that stuff, pollen and all that as it, gets in the house and dust and all that. So check it every 45 to 60. If it's dirty, change it out. If it doesn't look too bad, roll another month. Yeah.
Does a lot of your equipment, the newer stuff, whether it's a hot water tank, hot water heater, heat pump, all that, energy efficient? Does it all
that's where
meet or
way,
exceed?
That's the way everything's going. Yeah, right. Absolutely. So even your traditional tank style water heaters, they've made some modifications over the years. They're a little wider, a little more insulation around the tank, that kind of thing to up the efficiency of them. So most of your stuff that's coming out now is rated high efficient, or energy saver kind of thing.
Yeah. And in the spring, you just mentioned that. Yeah. What do you call it? A spring maintenance or opening?
Yep.
Yeah. What else do you do on the inside?
Yep. Yeah. So you could pull check the indoor air coil, the AC coil inside. You would check the blower again. Just make sure the blower is clean in the furnace, because that's getting used year round if you've got AC. So just kind of checking those components as well, and then checking the coil inside if it's dirty, doing a cleaning on it.
What's the most dangerous thing when it comes to heating and air conditioning?
Dangerous? If it's gas leaks, if it's gas, that's really
from biggest. A homeowner perspective. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. From a homeowner perspective. Yeah. I mean, people I smell gas, and I don't know. Yeah. I think every time somebody boils eggs, they smell gas.
Sure.
But that
if it's something that if it's a concern to you, then get it checked out. Then just trust your instincts, and because we've definitely as time goes, we've come across homes that just the gas. What's the word I'm looking for? The joint fill. The
thing.
The thing.
Yeah, the other thing. We had someone
the putty that goes around the gas valve. I can't think. I'm blanking on what that stuff's called, but that wears out, thins out, kind of thing. So you'll, anytime you got metal threads, it's you got.
We in the city. This is years ago with the house. They put a tag on it, and it was like. You can't send it. It was like some emergency warning with an X. I don't know. And we had to replace it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Components go bad. Furnaces, pipe dope. That's what it's called,
pipe
by
dope.
the way.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what the kids call it.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So not the pipe dope you're used to.
Yes.
So furnaces. You have heat exchangers. If they start to corrode, crack. That's where you're going to start to get some exhaust leaking where it shouldn't. You'll start to have a smell. So there's different components. So anytime you notice something abnormal like that, a smell or whatever. That's when you just give us a call. We'll come out, check it, and if it's okay, it's okay. If not, we'll let you know what's going on. Yeah.
Anything new from the government that has to be done?
No. Any good news?
No, I wouldn't say there's anything new that has to be done right now. I think it's just kind of a wait and see still on a lot of the policies and stuff. So
Now you guys are dragging yourself out to the home show this year?
Yeah, we're a couple weeks out. Excited about that. It's always a good time seeing everybody, running into customers of ours that stop by, say hello. Meeting new people, it's a great time. It's fun for us to be able to kind of answer questions and let people have projects coming up. That's why they're there, right. And they want to know what questions like what you just asked, where are things going, that kind of thing. So it gives us a good chance to just have that 5-10 minute conversation face to face, and it's just a good time meeting all the other vendors and seeing the folks that we see every year. It's a good 3 days.
Are there any incentives from the government that for putting
I think right now tax credits? I think right now is really the only thing out there. Okay. So I always refer people to their tax professional to see if they were to do upgrades, what that could mean for them on their taxes. Mm-hmm. But there are definitely some credits out there for that. Absolutely.
Yeah. And last question: how old is too old for a furnace? At one point, you just go, you know what, it works, but we got to change this sucker.
Yeah, so I would say, the average lifespan is 18 to 20 years. So if you're at, you're starting to get up 15, 16 years, I would say it's kind of like a used car. If little things start to, go wrong and you're having $300-$400 service calls 2 or 3 times a year, maybe it's time to put something new in, get all new warranties. Mm-hmm. You're going to upgrade on your efficiency just by putting something new in. That's usually a good time to start thinking about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Then call Neil and his brothers. It's a family-owned operation over there at Prime Heating and Air, and you can reach them at 315-802-4287. 802-4287. Mention the local show and get absolutely nothing other than just good service from Prime.
And this week they'll double that offer.
Yes.
That's right. They will.
Very nice. Neil Card, thank you so much for being here. Okay?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good to see you again.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Jeff Taylor. He's the owner of the Wild Animal Park over there in Chittenango. Stick around for an interesting conversation on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back into the local show, and that means you are too. Thank you for joining us on this weekend. We know you have nothing better to do, so hanging out with us is probably a great alternative. You can hear all about what new businesses and old businesses are doing here in Syracuse, New York, in the area. And there's a lot of small businesses that we hope that you'll be, doing business with, rather than just big box stores or just watching those Amazon trucks roll around.
Does Amazon roll up to your house every day, Tom? With
Not every day, but it was for a while. I think everyone's calmed down because Biden has made sure that we have no more money. So I don't think they have enough money.
We're going to lean on Governor Hochul.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's right.
For that.
Yeah, good stuff, man. I'll tell you what. Hey, tell me about speaking of local businesses, Safe Harbor Wills and Trust does a wonderful service for a lot of people. What are they all about?
Well, folks that have heard us talk about them before, every day people reach out to them and say, how can we protect our home and life savings? And the plan isn't the same for everybody.
No, it isn't.
And it's interesting. People say, well, trusts, those are for rich people. Not really, because the house that's worth a few $100,000 and maybe some savings and things means more to someone in that space than someone that's got gazillions of dollars. They want to protect it for the family.
How can they get a hold of them?
They can get a hold of them. They can do a couple ways. Well, they can certainly call the phone, 370-9977. Mm-hmm. One more time. That's the big area code, the 315, Tom.
Yes.
370-9977. Or they can go online, safeharborwillsandtrust.com. And they don't charge, you can talk to them. You can talk to a case manager on the phone, and they can say, hey, what could you do? And they sort it all out. But very trustworthy folks, safeharborwillsandtrust.com.
Wonderful. And it is wonderful to have a new guest on the show. His name is Jeff Taylor, and he's the owner of the Wild Animal Park over there in Chittenango. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Very good. Thanks for joining us. I have driven by your place many times, and, at first I thought, is this one of those like carnival things like that you see at the state fair where they got, a miniature horse or something in the background. But then I found out you're a real legitimate zoo. You know, you have real animals. What got you into this business? What'd you do beforehand?
Well, just growing up, it was my dream from when I was a little kid. And
really?
In high school, I used to, in my study halls, design zoos, and just always that's something I wanted to do. People thought I was crazy, but
that's awesome.
You didn't collect animals back then, did you?
I had some raccoons and ferrets and
no kidding.
raised pheasants and different stuff.
That's kind of neat. So did you have a job before you opened up the park?
Yeah, basically as soon as I could start working, I started working for landscapers, got experience with that, and I worked constantly, and I started my own landscape business when I was 21, 22, and then that was a smaller company but pretty successful, and once that got going, I started a traveling zoo about 4 years later.
What was your first animal?
My first, I had some goats and stuff, but my first big time animal was a camel that we still have. His name's Aladdin, and I bought him for my son Holden here for his second birthday. So
no kidding.
Yeah.
And is it a full size camel?
Oh yeah,
he's the big one.
Yeah.
So a couple of humps or one hump?
He's just one hump, a dromedary.
Do they drink a lot of water?
Yeah, they do quite a bit. Yeah.
What are the two? But you just mentioned that. What's it called with one hump?
Dromedary.
And what are the two humped?
Bactrian.
Okay.
It's pretty easy to remember. Like a D is one hump, B is two humps. So.
Yeah. Now, are the two humps more common, or is one more common than the other?
I would say in captivity in the zoos, probably I would say the one hump camel is a little bit more common than two hump.
Where do you sit on a one hump camel?
They make a saddle. You just straddle it, I guess.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's something else. So you grew from doing a little traveling stuff to when did you settle and have the actual animal park in Chittenango?
Yeah, no, I was traveling the state doing fairs, festivals, and landscaping and running around constantly. And then a piece of property came up available, and I always had in my mind what I wanted to do, and people didn't think it was a good idea. And I purchased the property, and I still remember standing out front, and it was just overgrown farm fields and stuff. And my dad, we were talking, he said, you can keep your animals here, but it'll never be a Fort Ricky, which is a local zoo.
Right.
Nice place now.
That.
Yeah. But he's like, it'll never be that. And I was like, really? We'll see.
There's a challenge. He threw the challenge down.
For sure.
And now, what is it? How many animals? And
we got well over 500 animals.
Really? 500?
One of the most diverse collections of cats in the country.
When you say cats,
big cats.
Define cats.
I'm talking tigers, lions. I've got
I like those cats.
10 lions, 7 tigers.
Really?
I've got cheetahs.
Talk about your carnivores, huh?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. Big cats are kind of what I really like, but we've got pygmy hippos, rhinos, lots of primates. I've got 18 alligators. Just a diverse collection, and a lot of stuff that you don't necessarily see at other zoos in the area.
Yeah,
try to do unique things and set ourselves apart, and really take it to another level. If you come in the park, you'll see that we really take pride in it. Great employees that bust their butts. We have a full-time construction crew. We build our own fake rocks. It's really come along. It's kind of like Disney theming what they can do,
right.
And basically we're coming up on our 14th season, and anything from the first season that was built, we've torn down and replaced at this point. We're just always improving, trying to be better, and just keep going.
That's wonderful. Is it, I heard you do a lot of events.
Yeah, we do quite a few events. Specials for like Mother's Day, Father's Day. We do. We started doing Christmas lights a couple years ago with the animals that can be out in the cold and light up the entire zoo. That's been a really big success. People like that. From the beginning, we've done flashlights, fiery, and Halloween nights where people really love. We decorate Halloween. Kids can dress up.
That's
a unique
cool
experience. See the animals at night. It's a little bit different.
So you are open in the winter?
No, just for the Christmas lights through the first of the year, and then we close down. But we still do animal encounters throughout the winter, where people can come and interact with sloth.
What's an animal encounter? Describe it.
Basically, 2 to 5 people come in, and you get to go in with sloth and feed and hold them, or otters. We have it's like a really up close, unique experience. You're in there with a zookeeper. You get to learn about them a lot, because that's the most important thing with having these animals in captivity. Yes, they're for entertainment, but it's more important to stress the conservation, that we need to protect them.
Right.
Kind of conservation through education. And
How do you get a sloth excited?
yeah, they don't really get excited. You piss them off, they get a little excited. That's about it.
I have
When they're mad, they can move a little faster than you think.
I have an animal encounter every time I do the show with Steve.
Thank you.
Encountering
And I thought
Steve.
you were going to talk about your beagles. You let me down. So
Now, on YouTube, I guess we should mention that you brought, what's a dingo, by the way?
A dingo is a wild Australian dog. It's more like, I don't know if they're a crossbreed or what. But
Right. They can be pretty vicious, right?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean,
I just remember
don't know.
the Seinfeld episode where she said, "The dingo ate my baby."
Oh, yeah. For me, I don't have interest in like getting them for the zoo. They look like a dog, like a normal house dog. But
Right. But you have a baby Joey there, right?
yeah, yep. Holding here, my son's holding Willow. She's a female kangaroo.
All right.
So
obviously on radio you can't see it, folks, but if you hop on over to YouTube, you'll be able to see a good picture of this.
and this thing is, 15 pounds maybe?
give or take, probably, yeah.
Okay, so it's the size of a small dog and very peaceful. He seems very chill.
Yeah, we hand raised her, and she's had a lot of interaction with our keepers and stuff. So we make sure that the animals live like a low stress life. It's really important.
I'd like to go. What do I have to do to sign up?
Yeah, it's like
I want to live there.
Like they get all the programs, health care, free food, free housing, free everything. So they got it made.
So when do you open in the spring?
We open up the first week of April 6th, I believe.
Okay. And then what will people see when they come?
Lions, tigers. I don't want to say bears because it's Chenango.
Yeah,
It goes
right.
along with the yellow crow. But primates, alligators. We got the safari next door where you drive your car through. You see
really?
rhino over
That's
there.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
You
lot
got
of
a
stuff.
rhino.
Yeah, we've got some rhino.
So people coming from a large area geographically to see you? Or is it
Yeah,
mostly local
we're
people?
well over 100,000 people that we bring into Chenango over about a 7-month time period. So, which is good because it helps the local businesses and come from all over the state, other states, and we're working on
have
a
really
massive
grown.
expansion project right now called the Haven, wedding venue, event center, music, overlooks a big field of
That's fantastic.
big field of giraffe, and we're actually going to have big cat lodging where you stay and you look out your bedroom window at tigers or lions. So it'll be really unique.
That is great. I mean, we could talk to you forever because there's more questions I have, but we only have so much time. So will you come back? And
Yeah,
talk
just
to
let
us
me know.
again?
I always like talking about the zoo.
Excellent. That's wonderful. All right, Steve. I'm going to let you go pet your Joey there.
Yeah, he's a doll.
We've got Jamie Sather coming in. He's the business development director at 160 Driving Academy. We'll talk to him next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You've got The Local Show with Tom and Steve. Thank you for joining us. Weather's been kind of mild.
It's hot. It's cold. It's cold. It's hot.
Yeah, it's kind of that up and down thing.
I jumped out earlier this week and went and found myself a big trout, Tom.
Yeah, that's very
And
nice.
Then it got cold and rained and snowed. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
And, warm
It's
again, hot
great.
again.
Great to be able to go out and have a walk, and I like to just wear my sweatshirt to the gym, and then I can just get out of the truck. And
Yeah,
go.
people that near you are just happy you wear a shirt at all times.
Yes, well, yeah, they better watch out because come springtime, I'm ripping it right. I'm going to be like Tarzan.
You are getting in shape, man.
I bought my new outfit for the summer is a loincloth and breastplate. That's what I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to
Oh
walk
my
around
gosh.
like that. Sure.
The listeners just lost their food.
That's my 60-year-old garb. That's what I'll be wearing. Hey, we got a new guest on right now. His name is Jamie Sather, and he's the business development specialist
guy
at 160 Driving Academy. How are you there, Jamie?
Very good, very good.
Are you
Nice
a
to be here.
Syracuse native? Are you born and raised around here?
I've been here since 1991. I'm
Okay.
originally from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
where they call cookies bars.
Correct. Don't you know?
What brought you all the way over here? What brought you to the
Well,
the
what
good
brought
life?
me to the East Coast was the United States Navy.
Oh,
I was
okay.
stationed in Newport, Rhode Island, and when I was honorably discharged, I got a job in Connecticut, actually, which eventually transferred me up here in 1991. I've been here ever since.
That's cool, man. Great. And what's your relationship to the driving academy? Were you a trucker?
I was not.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I was prior to this truck driving school. I was with National Tractor Trailer School. For 29 years before they closed their doors.
Wow.
In October.
And in all that time, you never got behind the wheel and wanted to drive?
They offered a couple of times, but I kind of thought about it and said, no. Then I'd be out in the yard. Then I'd be on the road. And
right.
So nothing wrong with it though. If I would have known about it when I got out of the Navy, I would have done it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
So National Tractor Trailer became 160 driving, or
National Tractor Trailer School closed their doors officially, so they are no longer.
Gotcha.
That was like 4 or 5 years ago. This was a while ago.
No, October of 23.
Oh, okay,
wow,
okay. Oh, okay.
Seems like it was a lot longer. I thought it was too. Yeah.
Well, myself also, because I didn't start with this company until January of this year.
I gotcha.
And they're a vocational truck driving school, 148 locations across the United States and 45 states.
Good golly.
Holy smokes.
Largest vocational truck driving school in the nation.
Well, I think we've been hearing ever since even during the pandemic that truck drivers are in great demand. Why is that?
Well, one of the main reasons I believe is it's no longer the being away from home or any of that, which it used to be years ago. Today, I believe what's actually happening is a lot of the drivers are retiring, and nobody's stepping in line.
I gotcha.
To take that job, and it's not just this industry, but this industry has had a shortage of drivers. Even back when I started 29 years ago.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. It's just gotten much worse, I would say, in the last 5 to 10 years, and it's only going to get worse.
Really?
From this point, yeah.
And
I wonder
why.
It's a wonderful career. It's a beautiful, as I always say, return on your investment. These kids, 21 years or older.
Yeah.
They can go out their first year and easily make 60,000 plus.
Jeez,
that's amazing.
Fantastic. Yeah.
I'm 60,000. You're doing your bare minimum.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Well,
so a lot of people in the six-figure category and more.
Especially after your first year, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So what is it? How long does it take to learn to drive a truck?
Well, this particular program, it's 4 weeks, 160 hours.
So
4 weeks for normal people. It's going to take you about 10.
Okay. Maybe. Maybe. So in a month, does that include licensing or what's the whole?
That actually includes everything. Your first week is virtual theory, which is entry-level driver training standards required by the Federal Motor Carrier Association. And then after that, you do your yard and road work. And the end of your third week of yard and road, we schedule you for a New York State road test, and you're off, get your Class A, and you're off and running.
Yeah.
Well, there's guys like Tom that can, because even a small trailer, it's just the physics are the same. He can put the thing anywhere, anyhow. So some people are just better at that than others, or do you teach everyone to be great at it?
We teach everyone to be great at it. I've seen a lot more female candidates come in.
Oh yeah,
and the industry, believe it or not, enjoys them. They're more safety conscientious and clean and things like that.
Sure.
But, yeah, I've seen a lot of different backgrounds in my years in this industry, and those that want to do it to be successful is very easy.
I have a good friend of mine who works for Beam Mac.
Yeah.
He's the manager over there, and does a great job with that. And he says that, these electric trucks could be not too far behind. Right.
Not too far behind. I think we still have some years to go, but they've definitely transitioned from standard to automatic trucks.
Okay, I see.
I heard that. I was speaking with someone that owns another company, and he's like, the trucks aren't standard. I'm thinking, what are they, 15? Zing, 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 zing. He goes, no, not anymore. Anything recent is
automatic. Matter of fact, now it's becoming, if you want manual transmissions, it's special.
You have to order them.
Special order, yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Yeah, my wife also had said that a friend of hers, she's been a homemaker for years and years. The kids are grown up, and she had always wanted to be in the trucking industry, and now she's over the road trucking.
No way.
And making tons of money.
To me, it looks
doubled her income.
If you don't, do you have to be, when the truck stops, do you have to be the guy that can lift the stuff and move the stuff or the gal? And is it physical, or is it not as physical as someone might think?
And do you need a tattoo?
Yes. You do not need a tattoo.
Okay, gotcha.
And as far as the handling of freight, it's nothing like it was 20 years ago, 25 years ago. A lot of trucking companies are arranging to be no touch.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that.
I was talking, this happened a few months ago. It'll shock you, Tom. I was fishing.
Yes.
And I was up in the Clay area, and there was a pond near some retail establishments that hold bass.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fishing, and there was a truck parked there, and I got talking to the guy, and he was so chill. He's like, "Yep, it was actually up around Home Depot, up in those areas."
Okay.
And he was so chill, and you could tell that he liked doing what he was doing. Yep, I'm just waiting here, and then I'm going to go. And it seemed like it wasn't like the pressure of a job. It felt like he was enjoying his job.
Correct, and it's changed a lot, the industry, to make it more pleasurable for the drivers out there on the road. I mean, the trucks they get today compared to, and I keep going back 25, 30 years ago, they're like mini RVs. I mean, they're like motorhomes. They got
Compared
microwaves
to the,
and hot plates in them and refrigerators, and it's a great opportunity. And what I've always said, and this is something I've always said in my career, I came up with it on my own. If you get your Class A and you keep it clean, you have a job for life anywhere in the United States.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
How hard is it? What's the process? Someone says, maybe a son, a grandson, a cousin, a nephew, a friend.
Let's get into
okay, what do I do? They have to. What's the process?
Contact the school. We're online. My direct line's out there. Come in for an interview. I go over the process, the program, the whole 9 yards. It takes 20 minutes. Tuition, everything they pay. We start classes every Monday.
So it's even within the month. You don't have to start at the beginning of the month. So it's like
correct. Every Monday we start a new class.
Okay. Who pays for this?
It can be a various ways. Of course, cash, credit card. We do have a loan provider, and we also are working closely with CNY Works.
Oh, great.
And also Oswego Workforce. Room.
What if are veterans eligible, or is there a benefit to be a veteran and things like this?
There are benefits for veterans, but this program's not long enough for the veteran benefits.
Oh, okay.
It's 160 hours, but I went to a job fair for CNY Works a few weeks ago for the heavy equipment project on 81, and
sure.
And there's a need for CDL drivers. And
that's great.
It was amazing, and I believe, talking with them the other day, we have, I believe, 10 or 11 that are in queue to come to the school.
So jot this number down if it's correct, 509-3446. Is that a good number?
My direct line is 680-244-7160.
Okay. So
they can call anytime.
That other number goes right to the school, though, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the other number, the 905-3446, goes to the school, 160drivingacademy.com, and they can get their questions answered, Tom.
Excellent.
Correct.
Thank you, Jamie. Have a great day.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we're going to have a conversation with John Kupperman, owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. David Four stops by. He's the president and CEO of Visual Technologies. Kelly Capato is the senior manager of sales and operations at Inspire Care of Central New York. And then finally, we'll wrap things up with Josh Lang. He's a pastor at Redeemer Church in Syracuse. Stick around. Hour number 2 of the local show starts really soon.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of the local show. Get ready for engaging interviews with John Kupperman, owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. David Four is the president and CEO of Visual Technologies. Kelly Capato is senior manager in sales and operation at Inspire Care of Central New York. And then finally, Josh Lang, pastor of Redeemer Church, all in hour number 2 here on the local show. That sounds gripping enough for me to stick around with John Kupperman right now.
Kind of in charge, Tom.
Yeah, sure.
Imagine if I was running the board, what would happen?
I'm in charge of the Steve Roberts Show.
I just sit back and watch you do what you do.
Well, thank you.
So introduce this handsome young man.
Yeah, well, John Kupperman is here. He's the owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. I believe you've been in the business since 1905, right?
1894.
Oh, wow. You're going to look at there.
Not myself.
Yeah. You're going to look at there for 61.
No.
Yeah. Looks pretty
Not
good.
a day over.
Who founded it? Was it your great-grandfather or
Great-great-grandfather.
Oh, great-great-grandfather.
And his name was Hyman Smith.
Okay, right, which is your coffee
Smith,
brand.
Right, and Smith
Oh,
Restaurant
nice of you
Supply.
to do that.
And that obviously wasn't his name when he came over from Poland.
Oh, okay.
They were
Do you know
like-
what it was?
Something like Grubnabowski.
Wow.
But literally, they're like, you're a Smith.
Yeah, yeah.
That type of thing.
Oh, that's so cool.
Tom, would you like a cup of Grubnabowski coffee? Freshly
The
grounded.
name wouldn't fit on
Grubnabowski.
What a heritage, though. Everybody wanted to stay in the business. Was there anybody who said, hey, look, I don't want to have anything to do with the restaurant supply business?
No.
Family-wise.
I'm the fifth generation.
Good God.
Everybody did
So
it.
I never asked you, do you have cousins involved? Or
I'm an only child.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. So
I knew there was something unique about you.
amongst other things,
That's
right?
not it.
Yeah, that's not
There's
it.
more to it.
That's fantastic. So you're no longer in the iconic building that's downtown for years now. It's been, 3-4 years?
March will be 4 years.
4 years.
Everybody knows that, Tom. Nobody's still confused.
Oh, sure. Just about every day.
You're up on Erie Boulevard across from what steakhouse is that?
Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah,
is
Jamie
right there.
from 160 Drive-In Candy was just leaving, and he looks at John. He goes, "Hey, I got to get my knife sharpened." I said, "You know where it is?" He goes, "Yeah, right downtown." John's like, "No, it's not where it is. It's
Good
across
golly.
from Texas Roadhouse."
Right up there on Erie Boulevard. So you can see they got a beautiful place up there. And I guess we have a couple of holidays coming up, right? We got Easter, we got St. Patty's Day. And
Yeah.
So what do you sell that could make people,
Well, I mean, for
Cook their brisket better.
St. Patty Day, I mean, bar supplies, beer glasses, lots
you
of beer
went there.
glasses.
I was talking brisket and corned beef, and you're talking.
Yeah, I know. Well, they see where my brain went.
Drink on St. Patrick's Day?
Just some, yeah.
Yeah, a couple people.
But, people don't realize it, but we sell a tremendous amount of disposable beer cups.
Oh, really?
Sure.
Okay.
Thousands of them.
Nice.
People, they're buying sleeves, they're buying cases.
Yeah.
It's a big time for disposables. But for, brisket, we have the roasting pans. We have the pots for boiling the cabbage. We even have some extra long forks to get the cabbage out of the pot.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
They're a couple feet long. I mean, you pretty much, you think about it for the kitchen. We've got it.
Right.
So,
No, you don't even have to think about it. When you wander through the store, you're like, "Hey, look at that. I didn't know they had one of those." There's all kinds of things you would not think about.
right. Well, I mean, we have close to 20,000 items in there.
That's wonderful.
And the inventory just continues to grow. If we have a need or requests, we bring it in.
So
too.
COVID hasn't, are we totally rebounded back? We can get what we want when we want it, or is there still hanging chads from COVID?
So in other words, the
No,
supply chain is what you're asking.
no, it's rare. It's nothing like what COVID. I place an order and it shows up in a couple days type thing.
Very nice.
The back order. There were times my back order was almost 50%.
Oh,
Order
wow.
10 items, 5 might show up. Now it's the fill rate's 95%.
Yeah.
It's really smoothed itself out.
So you have everything from utensils to thermometers to knife sharpening.
We do knife sharpening, yeah.
Industrial stuff. It's interesting that you mentioned the big pots because you have to have the right kitchen implement to cook properly.
Sure.
My wife doesn't believe in that. She's still cutting her steak with a butter knife, but I say you got to have the right tools. And I need a good steak frying pan. So you probably have some. What do you think about those gimmicky things that are on TV? Like the granite stuff.
I can't say it on radio.
Yeah.
So I don't know what either of you are talking about. So explain what he's talking about.
We
and
don't
then
do
talk it.
gimmicky.
Yeah.
And if anything's as seen on TV, it's not going to be in Smith's.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not our thing.
So you wouldn't say that they live up to what they're actually preaching on there,
I can't say specifically, but typically no, because people will come in and they say, I bought this, online, or I got it off of the TV and it didn't hold up. What do you have that works that's, appropriate? And then I'll show them our comparable item.
So what's the best pan for cooking steak in?
I think cast
On the
iron.
stove? Really, a cast iron one?
A cast iron grill pan.
But I would have to season it.
They come pre-seasoned. They're
Okay.
ready to go. The ones that I carry. And they're actually made in America. It's a company called Lodge.
non-stick though?
Well, the more you use a cast iron pan, the more non-stick it becomes. Mm-hmm. It's not a non-stick though. Okay. You develop that. It's called a patina on it.
Right.
And that becomes like a non-stick.
So mine has like lines on it, for lack of better. They're like grooves. Is that what you're talking about?
That's a grill pan. That's
a
for
grill
grilling.
pan.
It'll use the sear
Like,
marks.
is that a panini pan?
It can be.
Okay, because I think that's what it was.
Can be.
Yeah.
I threw away a pan a couple weeks ago. It was time.
Yes.
And and it's really what you're talking about. I want to get like that steak pan.
Yeah, something
That's what I want.
And if you use cookware properly, and I teach my customers how to use it, you don't really need a non-stick. Okay. And anybody that has a non-stick pan, even if they come from me, eventually they will fail. Okay,
yeah, because
all
the
non-sticks
Teflon
fail.
comes out.
It comes off at a point. And if your pans are starting to, if you got cut marks on your non-stick or it's flaking, get rid of it because you don't want to be ingesting it.
Well, like Teflon's evil, right?
It can be.
Because I've heard it's there's non-stick, but Teflon is.
Well, it's a brand name. It's like saying Kleenex for facial tissue.
So Teflon is a brand name what?
Non-stick coatings.
Okay, I thought Teflon was. That's interesting.
The actual
like
material.
Like a Davenport was a couch. You're saying a Kleenex and a tissue. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. That's
so
what
do you
is.
Sell Teflon?
Some of the pans have Teflon coating, and others have an Excalibur coating, and there are different names for it, a non-stick coating. But it doesn't matter whose it is, where you got it from. If it starts to show signs of wear and tear, get rid of it.
So you're suggesting that the best pan for cooking a steak it would be a cast iron?
A cast iron, yep.
Okay.
And I'm a huge fan of stainless steel cookware. That's pretty much all we sell.
Okay.
Why?
Most of it.
Why?
You can do anything your heart's content to it. You can put it in the broiler. You can put it in the dishwasher. Heck, you can put it on the campfire if you want. And you can't kill it.
Okay.
And if you cook properly with it, they become very nonstick. Okay. Most people don't know how to saute. The idea is you put a pan with nothing in it on the burner, get it hot, okay? Medium low for a little bit. And then you put your release agent, butter, wine, oil, into that.
Yep.
Then you put your food in. And what happens is your food is riding on top of that release agent. It's not sticking to the pan.
I see.
And then when you're done, don't throw it in the water because the pan's hot and you can warp it. Just set it aside for a little bit. And then chances are you're going to be able to wipe out or just with a soapy sponge and water, clean the pan.
Gotcha.
It's not
Chef Kupperman, look at you go.
Look at me go.
See, that's the kind of knowledge you get when you go up to Smith restaurants.
I know. It's different.
He knows his stuff.
It's different.
So obviously you do your knife sharpening. You got coffee up there. So always grinding fresh.
Well, it's green until we roast it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you roast your own coffee and you put it in the Hyman Smith bags and you got different.
Got about 45, 50 different varieties.
Wow, that's a lot of variety.
Yeah. And I do want to mention we now have a loyalty program.
Oh, yes.
For all our customers. And you accrue anywhere from 2 to 10% in savings.
Nice.
On the coffee, it's 10%.
Okay.
So that's huge.
Yeah.
So our coffees are typically about $16.95, but with a 10% accrual, they're $15.25 a pound.
Right.
Essentially.
Nice. And I know that was your price pre-COVID. I know a lot of people raised their coffee prices, and you have not.
Yeah.
I haven't touched
and
my
it's pretty good coffee with a little sugar in there.
No, stop
cream.
that.
Black and yummy. Okay, that sounds good. John Kupperman right there. Thank you for all your knowledge and what you do.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Across from Texas Roadhouse.
Yes, sir.
There you go. David Fohr is coming up next. He's the president and CEO of Visual Technology. Stick around for that conversation on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it. You've got The Local Show with Tom and Steve right here on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM. And then, of course, you can see what we look like and see what the guests look like on the YouTube channel. And that's always a hoot and a half. You can see Steve and his orangutan arms flapping
come
around.
on. I did all that, maybe. You know, it's not easy being 6'6", Tom.
No, it's not easy being in the same room with you.
Well, that's because I get things, knock things over. It is what it is.
is. I am so happy that we have a guest on the show.
Stop. You're happy?
Yes, I'm very happy.
The guests just fell out of their chairs.
It's the only guest I've liked in I don't know how long we've been doing this.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
This is a guest I haven't seen in a long time. His name is David Four, and he's the president and CEO of Visual Technologies. You know, I remember back when I was doing a DJ gig at the Quality Inn. Yeah. And, you know, that's got to be 30 years now.
Well, this is my 43rd year in business.
Gosh, look at that.
Yeah, and the business was actually started 1954. Gentleman Ewald Moss started with a record player and a film strip projector.
No kidding. Wow.
1954.
Good golly. But you're not that old. My goodness. But I remember you coming over to the Quality Inn there and just to hang out. And did you have a 1968 Pontiac Firebird or a Camaro?
Well, you're close. 1969 Firebird convertible.
There you go. That was it.
Yeah,
I love that car.
I still have it.
Oh, awesome, man.
And,
I had a Vega.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not a convertible.
No. Steve ran with a different crowd.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, David, what got you into this type of a business? Did you do something beforehand?
Yes, I actually went to school out in Wisconsin. Oh. So not only am I a Badger, but I'm a Packer.
Right.
Or a Cheesehead. And upon returning to Syracuse, where my family is, I was looking for something to do, and I started selling with Prudential Life Insurance.
No kidding.
And I spent 4 years there, learned a lot about business and about selling, cold calling, and just, how to make a living. Yeah. And was having lunch one day, and my dad and another gentleman were talking about this fellow who was going to retire and had no one to retire to. And I had left the Prudential and decided that I wanted to do something different. Yeah. And it just, I'm a firm believer of timing in life. Sure. And, right place, right time, right opportunity.
And what year was that?
July 1st of 1981.
So 81. So things, the CD player was just, hadn't even
didn't exist
been coming
yet,
in
really.
yet.
The reason the gentleman was selling was VHS video was coming into play.
Oh, right.
And he didn't want to learn new technology. Kodak slide projectors and overhead were our big product line.
Sure. Yeah, no kidding.
And he just didn't want to learn new product, but it was VHS.
Wow.
So Tom, 81, I'm shooting weddings.
Yeah. Well, so
I'm in college, but I'm photographing weddings professionally.
I was DJing.
You're spinning. That's about the time we met.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about that, David?
That's something else.
It was a good year for me. Timing.
Right. So then things, progressed on, and I remember having conversations with you many times because, being in the DJ world, I would be out playing these wedding receptions, and there wasn't a hotel that I could walk into that didn't have the stamp on their equipment that said Visual Technologies, right?
I like to brand our work because I'm very proud of it.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate over the years to hire good people and keep them.
Sure.
My office wife has been with me 37 years.
Oh, good golly.
Michelle has been there. I hired her right away from Brian Stratton.
Yeah.
And she's been there 37 years.
Keeping the fires burning.
Yes.
Yeah, and you have everything from microphones to AV equipment to amplifiers and then all the new technology. And then there was that whole period of computers. You were,
Oh, yes.
And you probably still lease out computers or rent out computers?
We almost don't do a job that doesn't have a computer on because all the visuals now, instead of slides and Kodak slide projectors, are laptops with PowerPoint.
Yeah. Of course. Wow.
I remember we thought we were all that in a bag of chips, and we had 2 slide projectors, a dissolve unit in between, bring one in, pull one up, and you could have the different speeds, and then what would happen, Dave, occasionally with a slide?
Oh, it would jam.
It wouldn't drop. That's right. and the whole, right? And like the frame would get bad. No, it probably didn't happen to you. It just happened to me.
It happened on several jobs, and you would just have to take a time out, reset everything, and start again.
Incredible business model. Like you say, right time, right place.
Yes, sir.
So how have things developed, and now that we're, into the 2000s and we're a little grayer and all that?
Well, I like to use the word coming out of COVID is that we pivoted.
Okay.
And coming, back 30 plus years, it was slide projectors and overheads. Sound has always been somewhat steady. Microphones have gotten better quality. Sure. Speakers have, but in general, somebody walks up to a podium and people in the audience want to hear them.
Sure.
So there's a microphone there. But the displays, the visuals over the past 40 years have just, it's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And during the 20 and 21, we did pivot and we learned Zoom. Teams, all of those.
Of course.
Things became a virtual meetings for almost 2 years.
So when it comes to sound, when a speaker is up there speaking and he walks in front of the monitor and there's feedback, do they still look at the sound guy like it was his fault, David?
Oh, absolutely.
They're like, hey, and you're like, right?
Yeah, don't do that.
How many systems have you had to replace, with blown speakers with high-end tweeters going out?
It's, you bring out the cane and rake over the person, get them away from the speaker and, kind of reset.
But you can do big theatrical type stuff down to small stuff, right?
Yes,
you've got
sir.
all different types of systems.
We're fortunate to work at the On Center, SRC.
Good God. All your stuff's embedded in there.
Well, no, sir. We bring them in and set them up.
Oh, okay.
Most of the time, like at the On Center or up at SRC Arena, they're
whatever
vacant.
they need. Okay.
They're plain, and then when they bring in everything from drapes to staging to our sound systems to, normally we'll put up 25-foot screens we'll put projectors behind them so the audience can't see them, and then we'll stage everything.
What do you do to retain people and find good people?
Great question.
Yeah. Phenomenal question. I'm like I said before, I'm very proud to have several employees that have been with me 30 years and many that have been with me 20 plus. I like to say that I kind of manage not from a dictatorial type of a standpoint, but from a point that I don't know everything. I like to hire smarter people, and we manage from a collective kind of a way. Nice. We've been fortunate last couple of years to hire some new people. Our field is somewhat exciting because you don't do the same thing every day.
Yeah.
I mean, one day we could be working for the Scout Power Dinner.
Right.
One day we could be doing something for Make-A-Wish or Red Cross. Next day we could just be doing a small meeting with a podium and a couple microphones and things. We do get to meet some interesting people as we do the various events. So it's not the type of work that's repetitive, even though it might have some of the same items and things, but
any consumer direct stuff. I know we're talking business and hotels and conference centers. Do you do anything direct for the consumers, or is that really not in the bandwidth at all?
We're a B2B type business. We don't do home theater.
Okay.
We learned many years ago that the residential market takes special people. There's a couple groups in town that do a phenomenal job at it, but no, we'll install classrooms, conference rooms, up at SU or out at Hamilton College and
so
things.
if someone has a business, they want to have an in-house solution, you can talk to them and set that up for them.
Absolutely. That's probably about 30-40% of our business.
Oh, that's huge.
Is the
complete installation.
Right from the concept. We like to get in early so that we can run wires before they put the walls up. That doesn't always happen.
That's wonderful. Dave, it's so good to see you again. David Four right there, President and CEO of Visual Technology, is a forward-thinking guy who is now reaping the benefits of that. That's wonderful.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you for being here. All right, we're going to talk with Kelly Capato coming up. She's the Senior Manager of Sales and Operations at Inspire Care of Central New York. Stick around for that conversation next on The Local Show.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back, folks, and welcome into the local show. We appreciate you listening to us and spending some quality time with us here on the weekend as we enjoy pre-spring.
Yay!
You know, I have not been able to stop thinking about the power sports guy. What's his name? Sean?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was thinking of that motorcycle. He's got those three-wheelers out there that I really like.
Well, there's three. I was with the Spiders.
No, it's not, yeah. Well, I think one of them.
An Odyssey or
it's a Can-Am.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got the different product lines. Yeah. They got some real.
I of course
fun-looking ones.
Thinking about the boat.
Yeah.
So that's a pontoon boat, but it's
pontoon boat.
Sleek and.
You would think with our fame and fortune that we bring to others that he would just give us a couple.
You would think so.
Yeah, we just give them to us.
You know that doesn't
doesn't work.
Doesn't work that way.
But I've been thinking about it. You know, me being 60 next week.
Oh wow! You know, so should I get you some black balloons or anything?
Yeah, well, anything.
You'll take what you get. Because you said by your time you're 60, you were going to have a swimming pool, a sports car. What else do you have?
I have nothing.
Oh my gosh! You have a lovely family, a lovely home.
That's what my wife says.
And that's about it, actually. Yeah.
Really, you know, I do have it all, and you know, and now I'm even having health because I'm going to the gym, and everything's been good. And I want to thank you for lunch because now I'm wearing some of my lunch. So thank you for doing that in between segments.
It is spill lunch on yourself Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So the whole week.
So the whole week we spill our lunch on ourselves. So yes.
Very nice. Well, it's a pleasure to have Kelly Capato here. She is the Senior Manager of Sales and Operations at Inspire Care of Central New York. How you doing there, Kelly?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. Happy early birthday.
Well, thank you very much. You're the first. My wife's name is Kelly, but she spells it with just the Y.
Oh, okay, lucky her.
You're the first Kelly I've seen with the IE.
Yes. I guess my parents wanted me to be unique, so they kind of cursed me my whole life with it being misspelled. So.
Oh, golly. Are you a Syracuse native? Are you from around here?
I am. I grew up in Liverpool, so I graduated from Liverpool High School. I attended SUNY Oswego and got my master's in social work at Syracuse. So Syracuse gal through and through.
Yeah. What did you do before you joined the team over here at Inspire Care of Central New York?
So I recently moved back to Syracuse. I spent the last 5 years down on Long Island working for an assisted living down there.
Okay.
Doing their sales and community development down there.
I don't hear Long Island. You didn't get it. I don't hear that. I was at Long Island, and I don't hear that.
No, I didn't acquire that accent. I guess I wasn't there long enough, and quickly kind of made my way back up here.
Or maybe you're just a bad listener.
Maybe that's it.
I don't know. My oldest daughter, she's 25, and she dates a kid down in Long Island in East Islip.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Islip?
Very familiar. Yes. My husband grew up in Stony Brook.
Okay. So, yeah. And you had to go over the Throgs Neck to get there. Yeah.
All the bridges, all the
Wonderful.
Never get used to it.
Absolutely right. I don't want to even do it. So anyway, so what does a senior manager and sales person do and operations with this organization? Maybe start with what the organization is and then what your role is.
Absolutely. So Inspire Care of Central New York is a care management company. So we serve primarily the elderly and individuals with disabilities.
Okay.
So Inspire Care has been around since 2011. We are the first care management company in the area servicing this type of population. Inspire Care was recently bought in August by Together in Caring out of Rochester. Mm-hmm. So I was brought on to lead the Syracuse team. Our former owner and very well respected and beloved Becky Oyer has retired, and I was brought in to do my best to kind of supplement some of the things that she...
You can't keep up with her. She is a great
you're not the first person to tell me that. Yeah. So I'm aware of that, and I'm just doing the best I can to fill those shoes, and she's a trailblazer.
So what is care management? Okay, so I understand that you're serving seniors. What does that mean? Be specific if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. So care management, another way to think of that is care coordination. So when things happen, when a crisis situation happens, or even before that, hopefully before that is when we're being engaged, we come in and help to manage the situation, help to advocate for the client, help to offer expertise, and help to refer families to those community resources that can help.
What kind of situation?
So a fall at home, a hospitalization. We oftentimes are hopeful that people engage us prior to that emergency situation. So often if you have a loved one living away from you, you're out of the Syracuse area, but your parents have chose to stay, a lot of families will engage us in that time for more preventative to help manage the care.
And what will you tell them to do? Like, what would be some of the suggestions? Would you hook them up with a living facility and doctors and
home care? Or what are the parts and pieces?
Yeah, all of the above. So anyone who calls us for information, we do start with a consultation. Mm-hmm. So we would connect them with one of our care managers. So our care managers are typically social workers or nurses with a load of expertise in the field. They would go in, do a home assessment, evaluation of the individual's current situation, what they may need, and from there, connect them on.
So you're dealing with the kids mostly? Or the individuals themselves?
Both. We typically it's the adult children that will call us.
The oldest daughter?
Yeah, usually the oldest daughter, right? I'm the middle daughter, so luckily I'm not going to have to make those calls. But yes, typically it's the adult children that are engaging us.
Okay. All right.
And then we're working with the families, absolutely.
So if Steve just started uttering a bunch of verbal nonsense, I would say, well, I think he might be ready for some care. Because that happens often. So I'm just wondering.
I was going to say, that's nothing new.
Yeah, there's that fine line between just that, natural aging and confusion and what we're talking about.
So are insurances involved, not involved? Where does that fit into this? Because as parents get older, and my parents got older, we lost Dad a few years back, and Mom's aging, there's a puzzle to put together.
Yeah. Totally. Like you could start talking about Mom now.
Correct. And my mom's very healthy. She's 90. Right. She would arm wrestle you right now and probably win.
She would. I have no upper arm strength.
Okay. She would definitely win.
Yeah.
But can you plan ahead, or do you have to just kind of wait till things deteriorate?
No, we really hope that people are proactive in planning ahead. We are here to help to step in a crisis situation in the case of a fall, in the case of a hospitalization and having to navigate rehab or a rehab discharge. But we really do hope that people engage us sooner than that so we can start to put some protective barriers in place. Some of those being our services, our care management services, medication management, care coordination, fiduciary services, care management assistance services. And where we can't step in, we do have that network of resources where we would refer out. And
okay, good. We're kind of used to when it comes to assets, like Safe Harbor Wills and Trust has been a friend of the show, a sponsor for a long time, and they help people in that space because people have decisions to make and there's things to manage. But beyond that, is a whole list of things.
Absolutely.
So you charge privately. So when folks step towards you, say, okay, if we're going to do this and this and this, it costs X. Is that how it works?
Exactly. Yes, it's a private pay. So we do charge an initial consultation fee, and then families have the option to continue on care with us or to take that information from the consultation and kind of manage that on their own. So they will get recommendations, they will get referrals, a lot of information that will help them put a care plan together, and then it's really up to them on if they want to or are able to manage it on their own. If they would like a little bit more assistance, a little bit more expertise, we are there to continue on with care management services.
So community collaboration is important in your type of business, it sounds like.
Absolutely.
Right? So you partner,
you
partner with a lot of different people.
Yeah, absolutely. We're involved with the community living advocates. I know a lot of the members have been on this show.
Absolutely.
So it's a wonderful organization, and we all meet almost weekly to discuss ideas and to update each other. So it's a very tight-knit group. It's been a nice change of pace from the different demographics that I've worked in.
Downtown on
Long Island, yes. Yeah, so everyone is really open and willing to help each other out, and we all rely on each other.
So if they have questions, they can reach out to you at inspirecarecny.com.
Yes, inspirecarecny.com. They can always call.
And they could call the 447-3164 number.
That's right.
So 447-3164, and they don't get charged for the call. You can help figure out what they may or may not need and kind of
Exactly. Anyone who calls us will determine whether it's appropriate to move forward and schedule that consultation. And if not, we will help point them in the right direction.
Great to you. Thank you, Kelly. Excellent. Thanks, Kelly. All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Josh Lang. Stick around. He's the pastor of Redeemer Church right here in Syracuse, right here on 570 WSYR, the local show.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
And here we go again. Just when you thought we were all over, you stuck around and surprise, we're
Those guys are back. I thought it was the top of the hour.
I was hoping for another show by now. No, that's not true. We do have some very loyal listeners. I don't know who they are, but they're pretty loyal.
Tom,
your mom, maybe?
I hear from them often. It's kind of fun and shocking.
Yes, shocks the heck out of me.
You know, I always have to hear, again, I've said this before, that guy with that great radio voice. Just to be clear, they're never talking about me.
Yeah.
They're talking about you.
Right. Well, when they talk about good looks, though, they talk about you, right?
Yeah, no, these are radio listeners, Tom. I know they can see us on YouTube,
yes,
but
they can.
Mostly radio listeners.
Absolutely. Well, you know, we always elevate the show at least once every couple of shows, and that's with Pastor Josh Lang.
Yes.
He brings the show up
a whole octave.
A whole octave. That's right. Here's Pastor at the Redeemer Church here in Syracuse, Josh Lang. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Very good. It's good to see you again.
This is when Tom asks really hard, really deep questions. I'm just going to sit back.
With the clock counting down.
Yeah, something like, you know, talk to me about suffering and pain. Go ahead, Tom.
Actually, I was going to say, what do people learn when they go to Redeemer Church? Is it a learning thing or is it a experience thing? What do you think?
Well, one of the phrases we like to use to describe coming to Redeemer would be that people have a truth-based experience. And so being who is God as he's revealed himself in Scripture and the impact that has on an individual, we know this is that it will lead them to an experience with God. And we really do believe that God is not just this distant, transcendent being. He is God who created all things, and it's a marvelous wonder just at who he is, but he is also near. And we know that because of the fact that he loved us so much that he sent his son, Jesus, to do for us what we couldn't do for ourselves.
And why is your belief in Jesus and Christianity the right belief?
Yeah, why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because, I'll tell you, you know what makes me say that?
You narrow-minded Bible thumper, you.
Because, you know, I'm into the sci-fi stuff, right? So I was watching one of my...
There's truth.
Well, we know that's fake. But I was watching one of my sci-fi shows, and I don't know what scene it was, but the main character was trying to describe to an observer that they were very open-minded. It's kind of what Steve was just saying. Very open-minded because the people that were on the ship all came from different backgrounds, and they were kind of wearing it as a badge, like, I believe in Jesus, and he believes in this, and he believes in that, and she believes in that. Like it was all okay. Is it all okay?
Well, let's use your example.
Yeah.
Okay, you have an observer, and he's observing all of these various people on a ship, and you said, you know, person A, person B, person C, person D.
Yep.
This person is coming up at a perspective kind of arrogantly that they can see it all. And they're looking down with in essence, the godlike view at everybody else and saying, yeah, that's okay. So I think you have to be aware of the presupposition coming in to that view and understand that you are putting yourselves in a place of God. Likeness. So there has to be an understanding of that. But when we talk about Christian faith, one of the things that matters absolutely, supremely is the fact that Jesus Christ was an actual person. There is tons of evidence, historical, documented evidence to say that, hey, he was an actual person who lived and breathed, walked the dust of this planet, breathed the same air that we're breathing, and he really did die. And the Christian faith, says this, is that he rose again, and there were eyewitnesses to that resurrection. And so when we talk about, in just one way, I'm narrowing it down, why is Christianity true? Well, we have to look at the resurrection, and you have to deal with that event. Because if Jesus really did live, die, and rise again, then you better take seriously those words that he's spoken, that he has revealed with that. And so the resurrection is one of those key things that says, hey, Christianity, it's true.
Right. But if some people of different faiths don't believe in that resurrection, and they just believe that he was a very profit-oriented person, he was a great teacher or whatever, then they just don't buy into the Christianity, and then they buy into their faith, whatever that might be.
Right. And so, what I'd say is that, for those folks, you know what I mean? You do have to wrestle with Jesus as more than just a good teacher or a moral example with that, because you can look at those things, and those are all very important things, and they show us a lot about how we live, and we see the impact of that all throughout history. You cannot deny that. But the reality is when it comes to just following the example of someone, when it comes to the reality of, hey, this is what this person taught, I'm going to do this, there still comes this aspect where you have to deal with Jesus, where he's not just telling you there's a way. He's not just telling you, hey, this is truth. Jesus is saying, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Whoever comes unto me. And so you have to deal with the fact that Jesus isn't just pointing to himself and saying, hey, go this way, or hey, do this. He's saying, hey, I'm the truth. I'm the life.
I think where things can get confounded sometimes is that, we're looking at people of different faiths who are, genuinely good people. And so like my son might be friends with somebody who is of Indian descent, and maybe they're Hindu or something like that. And it's like, hey, he's a good person. So, Dad, are you telling me that he's not a good person because he doesn't believe in Jesus? What do you say to that?
My answer is I don't think any of us are innately good. Deep down inside.
But I mean, he's a friend.
Right. So if God, and Josh, you can disagree with me because everyone else does. As I see it, I can't be good enough to be accepted by God. I'm not holy. I'm not perfect, and that's why Christ. Right. So it isn't about good for me. It isn't about, am I good enough? Because how am I ever going to know that I'm good enough? Because I can't be. But really, for me, it was when I trusted Christ. He was good enough, way good enough. He was God, and he died for me. So when I gave him my life, that was the difference. And as I see it, it's people that are trusting themselves or people that are trusting Christ. Josh, I don't know how you take it.
No, I think that the question in Steve's answer that you have to wrestle with is how good is good enough?
Yeah.
And you have to realize that in this life, you are going to serve someone or something. As much as people think that there is personal autonomy, there is not.
No, as soon as you say I do, you're kind of running down
You're going to give yourself to someone or something. And so the big question that you have to ask yourself is who or what am I giving to? And how do I know if I'm going to be accepted, by this person or this thing? Is it going to bring fulfillment and satisfaction? And ultimately, what's going to be the end? And so when you look at Christianity, what the Bible teaches is that God created all things. Humanity, we rebelled against that creator God. And we deserve the punishment for our rebellion against God. But what God did for us is this, is that he loved us so much, he sent someone who could do for us, as I said earlier, what we could not do for ourselves, that we would know that is perfection. And when we look at Christ, when we place our trust in him, now we have this assurance that is outside of ourselves, outside of our control, and we're submitting to him.
So now you have a whole community of people who understand that, and people who are just stepping into this can come to Redeemer Church and be exposed to that community, be exposed to the Word, talk to you, counsel with you, and if they get over to Redeemer, they can learn all this. Maybe their eyes will be opened.
Absolutely. We really try our best to preach what we see God has revealed in Scripture as truth, and we know when you experience that truth, you are going to experience the presence of Jesus.
So Redeemer Church, where's it located, Josh?
Across the street from Nottingham High School.
Sundays at 10.
10 a.m.
Don't dress up too special unless you really want to, because most of us have got jeans and a sweatshirt on this time of year. So,
and as an added bonus, you can see Steve there.
Yeah, I might be the tall guy
various
there.
family members. Yes, very good.
There we go, Tom.
All right. Thank you, Pastor Josh, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Hey, that's going to wrap things up. I forgot. That's the end of the show.
Look at that.
Oh, all right. On behalf of the local show, Zoey Advertising, and Tom and Steve, God bless you and your families. Make sure you have some time to relax and exercise today and every day. Do it together with a family member or a friend. It keeps the body and mind healthy. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1. Then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising.